Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome into the channel. My name is Brent with Investing on the Go. Today we're going to be covering the SoFi Investing Challenge Week 25 Tiny Deposits Real Growth Full Transparency. Now, the whole thing behind this specific challenge was that with $25 every single week deposited into, say, a bank account or a high yield savings account, it would take roughly 40 weeks to hit $1,000. But what we're going to go ahead and see during this video is that we're at week 25. We're very close to our $1,000 goal. So it's actually by investing the $25, it's been able to accumulate a much larger amount in a shorter amount of time, which is really good for this challenge. Now, when we do hit $1,000 within the SoFi platform, I'm going to be doing another challenge. I'm not sure if I'm going to be checking out Robinhood, Public, Webull, or Moomoo. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you guys have any sort of preferences. Right now, I'm looking at potentially jumping over to Robinhood as it has some features that I'm looking forward to using, such as the Robinhood Gold, having both stocks and crypto all in one platform, having the cash management account where you can use your investment portfolio. It's kind of similar to Fidelity to invest and then have the cash management account to be able to kind of pay bills and do the other stuff sort of there, which is what I'm kind of doing at Fidelity right now. So we'll talk more about that later on, but let's go ahead and get into the video today, guys. If you guys are brand new here, definitely go down below, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like. And let's go into the weekly performance snapshot. So this week kind of blew my mind just with momentum here. Monday, Tuesday, everything was kind of moving up. Wednesday took place. Wednesday, everything just kind of waterfalled. The S&P 500 here in the green and the NASDAQ both touched into the negative for the week. We actually fell into the negative on Wednesday, right? You can see right here, S&P 500 Wednesday about midday smidged and touched negative there, and then NASDAQ also fell down. I believe this was because of Netflix falling off a cliff there on midway through the week, but overall you can see that everything blasted higher. Thursday just a nice steady to the upside. Friday gapped up 1% and then continued strong throughout the day. You can see here on the week, the stock market had very strong earnings, pushing the market higher into the green. The S&P 500 closed at 1.99% to the higher. NASDAQ 2.25, the Dow Jones a whopping 2.34%. So that was very surprising. The Dow Jones actually outperformed the S&P 500. I haven't seen that in quite a while. Things to watch out going forward. There's a lot of things that are expected within the last week here of October going into November. So numbers came out from the Bureau of Statistics that the CPI number actually reported lower than forecasted inflation for September. This relieved a lot of concerns that higher prices were paving the way, and the Federal Reserve is going to continue with their interest rate cut coming up here shortly. And again, anticipation of another federal rate cut, due to the positive inflation data, led traders to bet on the near certainty of 2 more interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve in the upcoming meeting here in November and then in December. Lower rates mean lower borrowing costs for companies, encouraging spending and investing. So that's all very stock market positive. And even with earnings, there was a couple earnings out there in the market, but such as Apple and many others, there was a lot of very strong earnings. Many companies reported third quarter earnings that exceeded analyst expectations. For example, Ford reported strong results. Intel saw demand boost by artificial intelligence, Apple, and many others. The fear meter that we had checked out last week, it was actually dropping down very close on the extreme fear, but this week going into earnings, it relieves a lot of investors saying that inflation data and the potential for another rate cut, just positive things going out there in the market, boosting that fear meter off that 27 to a 33 going into the next week. And I'm continuing to expect more green going forward, but as much as I would like to have a red week, I just do not see it happening with the anticipation of a rate cut taking place this week. Now, if you guys would like to start your very own journey, you guys can start using SoFi, Public, Robinhood, or many other platforms, and then join into the $1,000 investment challenge. It's completely free. I do have a pinned comment down below to download a PDF file that allows you to track your specific goals up to $1,000, or if you want to get the Google spreadsheet. I'll have a example of that here towards the end, which I go ahead and showcase for my videos. But you don't have to use any of the platforms if you already are investing in the stock market and you just kind of want to join along. You guys can do that. But if you sign up for SoFi, you get $25 worth of your favorite stock public. I believe if you deposit $1,000 into the public account, you get $100 bonus. Robinhood has that $200 potential of free stock, and there's a few other promos out there, so just check them out down below if you'd like. Now, as far as our portfolio goes, week 25 progress update. So our base investment last week was sitting at $702.25. That's how much we had deposited ourselves, $702.25. This past week, I deposited $25. That was our normal deposit plus $7.18. So we kind of talked about that $7.18. That was the cash back rewards from paying off my credit card during the month of September. And that all I did is take that rewards and kind of roll it forward. In this account, I'm not using SoFi as my main credit card. Fidelity is my primary credit card. So my Fidelity credit card that gets paid off, it rolls into my Fidelity account, and that's my primary investing account. This is kind of my secondary previous week balance. So last week we were sitting at $751.33 versus this week we went up a whopping, we went up quite a bit with the market appreciation there, $32.18. We went up to $797.68, a new all-time high within this portfolio. Portfolio weekly wise, it went up 1.91% because we're invested mostly within the S&P 500, so that makes sense. Our weekly change there is $14.96. This is now our greatest week in appreciation. This is going to continue to happen as as the portfolio grows larger. These 1%, 2% gains are going to be multiplied by the size of your portfolio. So the larger the portfolio, the more appreciation or depreciation that you get within your account. Our total gain since we've been investing in this account is 8.59%. We started this back in May 2025, and our total our total gains, it's $63.25. We're just continuing to compound gains from capital appreciation, market gains, and dividends, which we're going to be paid out some dividends, I believe. No, we've already been paid out dividends here recently. I'm just thinking of SPY, I believe. New shares that we purchased. So this past week, we deposited the $32.18. We picked up the 0.05245 shares of VU, and that allowed us to move up to our new share count of 1.2811. So our current goal within this account is owning 2 full shares of VU, and we're 28% towards that goal of owning those 2 shares. So that's kind of a nice little thing within there. Now, this is the tracker. It's completely free to get. If you go check out the pinned comment down below, you just go ahead and click on the Google spreadsheet link and you can make a copy for yourself. All you have to do is go up in the top left corner, go ahead and punch in whatever goal you'd like. And a lot of people like to monitor their transactions. That way they can kind of see what they're depositing on a weekly basis, what kind of shares they're purchasing, the share price. You can see here that we're getting a better deal still than we were back on October 7th. October 7th, when we purchased into the market, we bought at $618.37. This week, because there was a bit of a dip on Friday, and then we made our purchase on early this week, we bought at $613 versus the S&P 500 or VU is trading much higher than it is right now, right? It gained 2% essentially from this past week. So I'll go ahead and post a little screenshot here of where VU is trading at right now, but we just got a better deal. So you can see here our total shares, that all matches up. Our account value is sitting at $797.68, and we're roughly 80% of the way towards our goal, and everything's been ramping up. You can see here, just within less than 10 weeks ago, we were at 50%, near 50%. And it's been really ramping up where we gained nearly a 30% towards our progress within the last 8 or so weeks. So I believe that the $1,000 challenge will come to a close probably within the next month and a half. So this challenge may end up being over right around the end or early December. I think that's the time frame for this one, and then we'll go into some other kind of challenge. If you guys have any ideas and other investment challenges, you guys can drop them down in the comments section. Would really appreciate it if you guys have any feedback or other things you would like to see covered. There's definitely a range of items that I'd like to make some content on. We're going to be coming up with a video on Thursday on creating a budget. So if you guys have not used a budget in the past, I just created a very simple one that tracks January through December with your income, your fixed expenses, the variable expenses, and kind of just track the net income per month and then the total per year. And we'll kind of use that data if you guys would like to kind of showcase something kind of cool with that. So definitely continue to tune in, subscribe, and all that fun jazz. And that's going to be it for this video. So thank you guys all for tuning in. If you guys stayed till the very end, drop a comment down below, said, hey, stay to the end, subscribe, give this video a big old thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.